Good
Yeah.
afternoon, Good afternoon. Welcome to you all.
Good day, miss.
Good day. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so I think you all should be seeing the screen. Let me double check. Yeah, so I'm going to go through the questions. I don't know how much we'll get through, but let's see how much we could do. And you all can self-correct. Once you did the questions as well, you could definitely self-correct them. All right, so the first one, just now hold on, let me send this stuff here. All right, so here we go. Let me zoom this up a little bit. So you have using a calculator or otherwise evaluate each of the following. Give me your answers in exact form. Okay, so we have there open brackets, 3 halves squared, well, close bracket squared, minus 1 plus 6. Now we could put that in the calculator, right? If you're doing it manually, um, you have to follow BODMAS or BEDMAS. But yeah, we could put this in the calculator, and how I would put it is open brackets, 3 divided by 3 divided by 2, close brackets squared. Take away 1 plus 6. Yeah, so I have to give you the answers for 1 mark, so why go through a whole set of headache? So I don't know if you all got that. So as much as possible when you're doing the paper, two, use the calculator because it will help you save time and be able to move on as quickly as possible. Okay. All right. So that's the answer there. 7.2. No, well, 7.25 to be exact. All right. Mhm. They said to give it an exact form. Based on that, you think we need to put this answer as a fraction based on what they're saying here. Um, so if it's 7.25, that's like 0.25 is like a quarter, so like 7 1/4, or if we write it as a um in improper fraction, that would be 7 4 to 28, 29/4. Yeah, so if you have any questions about this, you definitely need to put this as so 20. Any of these two answers will work because it's an exact form, and based on how I'm looking at this, it has a fraction involved. So yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Well, let's move on. All right, so we have here We can do this in the calculator as well, but I think the same instruction, exact form. So we figure it out. So going in the calculator, mm, I'll put open brackets 2.1 multiply by, okay, we have to be careful because it's a fraction. So I'll put another bracket. It's like I'm also bracketing off this, right? Uh, so open brackets 10, because I don't want, if I don't do that, we could end up with an error. So I need to bracket off this. When I say an error, I mean like the wrong answer. Divided by, hmm, one, 1 3/5 is 1.6, or I could write it as 1/5 is 5/3 is 8/5. So I could put this in bracket as 8 divided by 5. So that gives me 10.5. But again, when it's the exact form, this section is normally like fractions. So 10.5 is not what you want to write, but 0.5 is a half. So you could write it as 10 and a half. And yeah, that would be the answer for here. Okay, so I hope you all are good thus far. So moving on. All right, so it says Miranda earns 3,000, 3,000, well, I'm saying 3,000, $8,360 per month. She spends 4/7 of her earnings on utility bills, food, and personal items and saves the remainder. So what percentage of her monthly salary does she save? Okay. Good afternoon, Kaylee. So what is that? She earns this amount for the month. She spends this of it. Okay, how much does she save? And saves the remainder. Well, we find the fraction for sure. Yes, good afternoon to you. So I'll find 4/7 of 800 and let's say 800, 8,316. So I'll use the calculator. Let me see. If I take the calculator and say 40, sorry, 4, we'll keep getting 44, 4 divided by 7. Um, 4 divided by 7, multiply by 8, sorry, 8. Why is this happening? 8, really? Uh, 1, 6. Okay, so it means that she spent um 4,752, right? Which means she would remain with how much? If we say 8,316, we take away 4,752, she will remain 4,752. So the remainder is 3,564, but they want the percentage. So what I'll do, I will take to find the percentage of how much she saves. I'll take 3,564 divided by the total amount of money, which is 8,316 multiplied by 100 for percentage. And I will get, let's see, why did I take that off from the screen? 6, 4 divided by, oh no. I'm getting 42 point, okay, if I write it to the probably one decimal place. Five or more, we add one to this, so it will be 42.9%. Now, there's another way we could have worked this out, right? Um, since it is, if we just looked at the fraction alone, okay, the fraction that she spent was 4/7, right? To get the whole 4/7 represents what she spent, which means the money she earned represents 7 out of 7, right? The 8,316 represents 7 out of 7. So we could have also done it this way where we say 7 out of 7. Why 7 out of 7? Whatever the denominator is to make it a whole or her full earning, you have to put the same number over the same number. And then when we take it away, we would have gotten 7 take away 4 is 3. When you're taking away like fractions have the same denominator or base number. So it would be 3/7. And then we can multiply this by 100 as well. This would have been faster for sure. Uh, so so the 3/7 would have been represented the fraction of her money that remained multiplied by 100, and that gives us the same 42.85. If you round it, we get 42.9, or if you round it to a whole number, you would have gotten 43%. Okay, so I hope you're good thus far. If you have questions and stuff, feel free to ask your questions. All right, so then I want to clear the screen if you're all right. So I think I know a number of you did the question, so I think nobody writing, but if anybody is, please let me know because I'm going to clear the screen in a couple seconds. Okay, so what is the next part say? Um, the portion of her earnings spent on bills, food, and personal items is divided into the ratio 5:3:4 respectively. So that means in the order that they mentioned. So that means 5 goes to utilities, 3 goes to food, 4 goes to personal items. So I calculate the amount of money she spent on personal items. Okay, just now I'm going to pull back. Let me see if I can pull it back. The working I had on the screen, right? So from the previous working, so we don't have to double work anything here. What I would need is how much money she spent, which is when I found 4/7 of $8,316. So she would have spent a total of 4,752. So they want us to calculate how much she spent on personal items. Um, so using the ratio here, right? We add the numbers in the ratio. That's to figure out the denominator that we're working with, right? Or the total parts. Um, 3 and 5 is 8, 8 and 4 is 12. Yeah. So out of 12, it means utilities um came up to 5/12 of this amount of money here. Food amounted to 3/12 and personal items 4/12. Okay. Um, so all we have to do to calculate now how much she spends on personal items, taking the fraction that I have here for personal items, which is 4/12. You multiply by the total amount of money spent, which is 4,752, and use the calculator, right? So 4 divided by 12 multiplied by 4,752. So I got there 1584. Okay, so that would have been the answer for part two of the question. Okay. Uh Again, if you all have questions or anybody making corrections or taking notes at any given moment, please let me know, okay? At this point, I'm clearing the screen. Should I clear the screen? Let me see what I have below here. Okay, I have another part. Um, Here's what I'll do. I'll write some of these figures on the side just in case I need them for this other part. Because I may 5, 2, 1584.
Miss, you forget to put down 3,564 for the, where you're gonna get the 37 for savings.
Okay, what was it again, please? Three what?
3,564.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, yes. So we have Miranda here saves the same amount of money each month. Hmm. Show that her annual savings from her earnings is that her annual is yearly. Well, thank you, Ophelia again. So this would have been her savings, right? If I recall correctly, this would have been her savings. So we multiply this by 12. We supposed to get, based on what they're telling us, 42,000 768. So let's see. 6 4 by 12,000. Yeah, that's all you had to do. Multiply these two numbers and you get what they want you to show. Yeah. For 1 mark. And you'll see by using the calculator how much faster, in a way, here, we are able to get these answers. Okay, so as much as possible, use a calculator for the paper tools. All right, moving on again. The next part here says she invests the 42,768 in her credit union, um, which pays compound interest of 5% per annum. What is the total interest earned after 2 years? Okay, it said what the final amount A when principal B is invested, compound interest at rate. Okay. And what is that doing there? Okay. Yeah, so I mm, one of the reasons. Okay, so apparently we have to use this formula. So using that, um, so finding the amount of money, we take in the principal amount, one add the rate divided by 100, close brackets to a power. So filling in the information that needs to be filled out. The principal amount is the amount that she invested, which is the 42,000. 42, 760. We have one add. The rate is 5%, so 5/100. The power was 2 years, so we put the powers 2 years over here. Now I'm going to put that in the calculator. You all think I was going to work this manually? I don't think so. So we put in, why did I take off that now? Anyways, save not by needed. We put that in a bracket. One. This here, I could put in a bracket or since it's divided, it should not be a problem because according to the order operations, division has to be done before multiplication. Well, before addition. So I don't have to put an extra pair of brackets. But if it was the other way around, well, I would have had to put up brackets for that fraction. Let me take off this thing from the screen here. To the power of 2. What do we get there? Exactly what we need you all the amount of money she would receive after 2 years, which is 47 yeah, 47,151.72 dollars. Yeah, but what did they want really? What is the total interest? Okay, so we're not finished yet then. So we just found the total amount of money she would receive. Now to find the interest that it would have accumulated, we have to take the amount and take away the principal. So the amount is right here, $47,151.72. And we taking away the principal amount of 42,768. And we will get what exactly? Let's see. Take away 42,768. So the interest of money will have earned has $4,383. You'll see why it's better to put your money in a credit union than in a bank. Come on. Yes, okay. Um, if you have questions about that, let me know. If not, we shall be moving on.
Mr. Luzama gonna get the final answer.
You got the final answer, you said? Wait,
No, Luzama gonna get the final answer. He reached the 47 and 151.72.
I see.
72 cents. Yeah.
Yes, so what you can always do, double check the question, make sure you answer it fully. Because I honestly just now after reading, I was like, okay, we got the answer. But then I read it again, I was like, okay, what they really asking us for? Not the amount, they want the interest. So, yeah. Okay, so it's always good to double read.